Let me do a quick sound check to make sure that my microphone is coming through and everyone can hear me loud and clear. Okay, great. Scott, thank you very much. I want to just again say thanks for everyone for taking their time to come out and listen to our introductory presentation. We're going to hopefully open your eyes to something that's, in my opinion, is just a leap forward in how people are going to be looking at investing in the future. So I come here from a very long background in the industry. I was part of a $50 million dot-com financial technology setup in the year 2000. And I've been, again, fortunate to be in the business and working on the technology side for a very long time. And that's helped us create what we're going to show you today. We've been at it, and eSignal uses our technology, E-Trade, Scottrade, almost every brokerage firm there is, somebody at that brokerage firm is using trade ideas. And right now, we happen to be the fastest growing financial subscription service in the US. And I wanted to kind of show you this just to make you understand that this is kind of recent, and it's recent because of the things that we're going to show you at this webinar. It's one of the reasons why we started doing webinars in the first place. So this incredible subscription growth is because when we show what we're about to show, people kind of have a little aha moment. They're like, whoa, that's what's going on? And we're like, yes, that's what's going on. So the first thing that everyone here needs to be aware of in terms of what you're going to see today is that aside from the fact that Trade Ideas, of course, as Scott pointed out, we're a publisher, we're a technology company, but in that publishing schematic, we're also a media company. And what that means is that we understand that in order for you to be engaged with our product, we don't want to just leave it all up to you completely, because what if you're making mistakes that we know you can be helped with? So we have this trading room that works at many different levels for many different people, and it's completely free. But what you see here is the best practices of people that utilize the technology that is growing like this right now in FinTech, the fastest growing financial services firm in the US. So again, this is the on-ramping. 500, 600 people are here at any given point in time, and we have a constant schedule of webinars, and we're going to give you information where you can put yourself on lists to be in them, to see the education. And this is the way that we communicate. So we have a community that's always live, and we have constant education to help you work with our technology. But at the end of the day, it's really the approach. We've completely changed our perspective of what does it take to win in the stock market, and it's not predicting. So we kind of, when we first started Trade Ideas in 2003, we didn't realize that we were going to be where we are today doing what we're doing. It kind of just evolved out of the technological advances that were happening. What we realized was that to have an edge in the stock market, you can't really approach it from the traditional indicator observational point of view. Well, if the RSI is high, it's overbought. But if it's trending, then it's going to continue. But if it's MACD is at this level, then it's going to... So we wanted to say to ourselves, well, how could you, if you really had to do it like scientifically, how could you speculate in the stock market? And what we realized that the way to do it was the way the MIT card counting team approached beating blackjack in Vegas. You basically take as much information as you can, you cipher through it, and you see, is there a pattern or isn't there? Because sometimes there's noise, and you don't want to be trading noise. So what we do is we ask you, how can you analyze 1 million unique trades every single night to find the handful of trades you should look at today? In other words, based on everything that's been going on. It's like you're seeing, you know, is the weather like humid, or is it raining, or is it snowing, or is it hailing? You can see that, and then you put on appropriate clothing. So we took that approach. We created Holly. In 2016, we launched Holly. This is our artificial intelligence engine, much like Siri, but we named her Holly as a play on the name Holy Grail, because everyone wants the Holy Grail, the thing, the goose that will lay the golden egg, and we wanted to come as close as it is humanly possible to do that, and we believe that we have. Now, we make no kind of statement saying that the market can be predicted. In fact, we talk about how trying to predict the market kind of puts you in a little bit of a disadvantage. So our big data approach is a slightly different approach. This is a little screenshot of the software on the 1st of September. It made 4 points. The trades, this is not the best, by the way, picture, and I'll just scoot on to the next day where it's a little bit more visible. This is from the 8th. So what you're seeing here, and again, this is just an introduction so you can kind of understand what's going on. This is a summary of the profit that the AI has made during the day. These are the strategies that and trades that it's calling out. In other words, while you're seeing this happening, it does it all in real time, and you can see the different timestamps. So sometimes, like on this day, there were many trades, sometimes there's fewer, and sometimes there's more. But what you're seeing here is a statistically viable feed of situational behavior, where our software uses using server-side analysis, watches all the tick data, and mines that tick data for probabilistic behavior, not behavior that you read about in technical analysis, but actual probabilistic behavior. So we want to say, for example, when is a stock, like in this just hypothetical example of Taylor Brands, when does a stock go up, come down, hit this low, try to rebound, come close to making a support, breaks it, but then rebounds and then keeps going? How many times does this actually happen? Because you have to realize that if you're only observing it right now, it's only one time. And that's just a snapshot. What you want to know statistically, is this a pattern or is this just noise? And that's what we're doing behind the scenes. That's what's driving all of this information that you're seeing here. And here it is on the 9th. Again, sometimes it's not always correct all the time. That's impossible. But playing statistically versus playing technically is an advantage that we provide that's causing the kind of growth in our subscriber rates that you're seeing, because people are able to see how we are continuously outperforming the market day in and day out. And because, of course, we have that free media trading room, which introduces people as softly as they want to the technology on their terms, they're seeing all of this happen. You know, there's nothing that we need to hide. We're the only technology company that puts the signals that our software generates out to be graded in real time. We do this because we are playing at an advantage. Nobody out there right now has an artificial intelligence that is doing what we're doing. So let me kind of explain. I want to see if there's a, let me go back here. So to kind of really dig a little bit deeper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually escape, and I'm going to let you see the software live. So this is the software in action. Let me just reiterate real quickly to make sure. Is everyone able to see my screen? Is it coming across well? Okay, very good. Thank you for answering. Okay, so this is the AI today. So the AI has two types of behavior, risk on and risk off. Risk off behavior helps you manage the trades from a capital conservation point of view, and risk on behavior takes advantage of volatility. And the software tells you right here through the on button which one to do. And all throughout the day, it's creating a feed of trade ideas that are statistical. Like, this is what the software thinks has the best advantage of working right now. And look at today, in the kind of market that we had, it went short by itself. Again, it also had some longs, but primarily everything was short. And you can see the results. So the methodology here for people that use this technology is that as this appears, you see it, and it will say, you know, strategy name. That's just to keep you kind of like, to make it easy to remember to some extent. So when OMF broke through this level, this was the short. That's what this strategy looked like. This is what it looked like on the long term. And obviously the idea was the breaking of this level if the market continues lower. All of this pattern recognition and statistical analysis, here's the other one, ISLE, okay? Short right here, broke through, tried to rebound, and then continued much lower. These are the kind of patterns that the software is looking to find on its own. It's very important to understand that there's no way that the human today could possibly do any kind of homework to be able to compete with a system like this. And it should specifically appeal to people who use options, because everything that you see here, all the statistics that are lining all these trades up, are purely statistical. Again, the reason that shot through the heart, which is the name of a strategy that, you know, where it looks like on the daily and as it's happening, it's kind of breaking through a level of support. Okay. All the analysis underneath that's happening that's saying this is a kind of move that, based on the statistics over the last quarter of data, is working. That's why I'm taking this trade. So there's just so much backward statistical analysis, making sure that you're not only taking advantage of just what you think you see, but the longer term setups that have been paying off. And the other beauty about the whole trade ideas concept is that we go so far as that every night, as part of the routine, the software automatically updates itself. This is probably one of the most, again, advanced kind of leaps forward in investing technology, because right now, as we are speaking, the software is kind of going, so this is still a snapshot of everything that happened today. And right now, the software is going through all of the trades that have happened, okay, in our server room. It's running through what we call the overnight routine, where it's checking every single trade. 45 strategies in artificial intelligence are competing against each other now, knowing what happened today, and using that knowledge as part of their statistical baselines. And then tomorrow, we're going to have a brand new set of algorithms that are ready to go. That's how competitive it is right now. That's the advancements the trade ideas is bringing to the table. While other vendors do a pretty good job of providing you tools, we completely went in a different direction, and we want to provide you with a viable methodology. But it goes beyond simply just the fact that we have artificial intelligence and we're the only ones, and it can't be replicated by anybody else because we have custom data and all the other good things that go into it. But we let you also use our technology to kind of merge with the way the AI works. So you see these stocks. They're brought to your attention from various lists that we have that are kind of the foundation of data that the AI uses, what we call the artificial intelligence scaffolding. This is what it looks at to kind of build a baseline for ideas of what to trade tomorrow. Okay, and you see these names like CNXR, and you kind of see this behavior. Well, what our software instantly lets you to do is simply go to it. Let yourself be notified when this thing starts to do something that is worth notifying you about. And you can make a little note saying, nice move, get some. So now I've got this stock dialed in, and if and when this stock crosses above this level, and by the way, this is a beautiful kind of pattern that our technology says is one of the most probabilistic ones. It's called filling the void. And no, that's not a Keanu Reeves movie, although it could have been a good one. Scott, let's patent that, filling the void. Okay, so as you can see, there's a large void right here between where it closed and some bad news that happened. Well, as the stock starts to digest the data afterwards, when it starts to really rise into this void area, everybody that sold here starts to feel bad, and a lot of dynamics as people who bought here feel good and buy more. And so usually it causes a pretty drastic move to the upside. And here, that move could be approximately 100, maybe 80%. So you can quickly and simply, again, notice that I'm not like trying to create some sort of convergence, divergence, or any kind of crazy fancy tool that makes things more complicated. I have no indicators on this. I'm simply looking and I say, let my eyes lead. And I say, okay, great. Would love to see this here. This is breaking out. And now you will be alerted whichever way you want, whether it's pop-up, SMS, email, whatever you want. Okay? So let me do a quick pivot. You are here, obviously, because you also trade options. Trade ideas, watch as options, not in the traditional kind of options watching way, but we're following what we call unusual options activity. Since we baseline everything, we know like what a stock typically, what kind of put volume or call volume it has on any given day. Okay, so we will let you know when whatever volume it is, if something's happening, and again, it could be where all of a sudden it trades 1,000 contracts and it normally trades 0 forever. That's why you kind of have these sort of things. But you know, you kind of are then made aware that something unusual is actually happening, so that whatever research you might want to do or whatever strategy that you might think that you know, we can show you names that you might not be aware of where the strategies could apply. Okay, so again, unusual options activity. So at the same time, we kind of then can go backwards. And we can say, okay, well, let us show you a stream where the stream is everything that's happening, but all the options activity is unusually high. So, for example, this one was APOL, Apollo Education, which is, you know, they were doing, I thought they announced that they're going out of business. I wasn't sure. Maybe it was somebody else. No, that was ITT, sorry. Okay, so Apollo Education, it's moving lower with unusual strong options, 200%. So whatever is happening right now, this move lower is on at the same time as 200% volume, so twice as much normal volume. And again, this stream is continuously going, short the VIX, and behaving in a very interesting way. So one of the nice things that about this is that there's no configuration here, right? You didn't have to do anything. In fact, I'm channel surfing. So Trade Ideas is your gateway to really anything that's interesting. I started with the AI because it's the most powerful technology, and that's the thing that is where people gravitate to the most, but I'm kind of showing you what the AI is built on is this information. The fact that we're tracking multiple things at the same time, and we can sort and resort it, so you can see that, well, what's happening, you know, why is this stock behaving in this way? I mean, Northwest Biotherapeutics, like, look at this behavior and look at the small price. I mean, this is where you can really start taking advantage of things. And certainly, with 22 million shares traded, why not put in an alert for yourself? And that's what our software allows you to do. So now I go here and say something is going on. It's a simple 1-2 rinse and repeat. Wherever I see something interesting, whatever it may be, just the fact that like, oh, this is interestingly big volatility day, whatever catches my attention, if it's interesting, and if I think it's worth it, I will make a little note of it. I'll say, look at here. Let me just adjust that and say, totally going. So this is Xenia. Everything is linked so that there's very little for the end user to do to start deriving value out of our technology. And the channel surfing allows you to kind of hone in on different things. So here I'm on the search channel where volume is like literally coming in as we speak. So something that you see here really has to be kind of have that looking kind of spike. And all of the setup is done for you. And there's different ways. You can obviously look at volume in more than one way. And here we show it to you on a number of different options, whether it's relative volume, our custom data, the fact that we track the 5-minute volume bars and just show you, well, where is it on the 5-minute where there's the most unusual behavior and how that can interact with everything else. The ability to just sort and resort very quickly. Combine visualization with exactly what it is that you want to do. And of course, just the simplicity of what about everything that's going up? If you're just learning how to invest and you're just starting kind of to do it, you're like, okay, well, I like the upside. Well, here's everything that's going up in all the different ways. It's already done for you. We are very big on the notion that investors are not car mechanics. You shouldn't be underneath the hood of the car, fixing the oil and tinkering with the car. What you should be doing is enjoying the route, being kind of the captain of the ship, driving, where is it going? Or in some cases, you can be programming your navigation system to take you there, much like you would do in a Tesla. And that's really what we see with the combination of how we look at the data, what we are able to let you do, and how quickly we are able to let you catch the move. Simply, without it having to be some sort of if-then statement, and letting you go where your eyes take you, depending on what looks good for you. These things will stay there, and you can edit them on your own. Arthur, so Arthur in the question and answer section said it's kind of like a market watcher and then uses AI to find the unusual, I would say, is not exactly the right word. It's not unusual. It's what it believes to be statistically viable, the advantage trades. And you can do a lot of things also. So opportunistic, exactly. So I want to just make sure that everyone understands that there's just quite a bit of surfing that you can do. So there's almost something for everybody. If you like the big tech stocks, you can see them here. You can keep going until earnings. So people talk a lot about, well, is this for day trading? Is this for news? Well, again, we are a gateway to opportunity. Arthur, I mean, great, you put that in my mind, and I like that. It's an opportunity gateway. We are looking for opportunity, alpha, generating opportunities. Look at these names, okay, OPTT. This thing went from 3.5 to 15 in 5 days, okay? So it wasn't just like you had to be lucky and then it got bought out to here. There was just a lot of back and forth, and it was still going. And considering that if you were in it at 4, you're still up 100% after all of this mess. There's still very, very interesting opportunities to be had. Look at these reversals. Okay. So, and notice already highlighted. So the ability to surf with trade ideas just lets you never be bored, never be tired. There's always something to do, and since it's so effortless to just put your stake in and put a couple of clicks to say interesting. What you're doing here is thinking without thinking. You're saying this looks good, you know exactly why, because of this, and you're like, okay, let's do it. So this is what's underneath all of the things that then make this happen, the artificial intelligence. Okay, and the thing that we compare it to, of course, is the spy. So today, one of the really cool things is that not only was the AI up, and remember, just so that everyone knows, all of the trades that were put on today, and these are all of them, and let's kind of do it from the beginning. So the market, so we are on the West Coast, okay, because we're on the West, let me see, is it? Yeah, because we're on the West Coast, it opens at 6:30. So the way the market was open, the AI didn't even see anything going on worth trading statistically until an hour and a half into the market. Okay, and its first trade was a short of gel right here, and again, and the first one started up going right away, and it ended up working really well, and that's the kind of stuff that it looks for. But it has to wait for a certain opportunity to be taking place. It needs to know what's going on in the market as well, that everything is setting up. It's doing the kind of stuff on a stock-by-stock basis that, again, mathematically, you just can't do as a person. So the suggestion is for people, and this is how people interact with this data. So some people will take it, some people, ignore one, maybe wait for something that's a little bit less expensive, just depends on buying power and ability. And as you're watching it, like we said, we have 2 levels of risk on and risk off, and whichever one is the one that's paying off is the one that you should be using. Okay? But what will happen is sometimes the mode switches back and forth, and people say, well, what do you do then? Well, this is why we have these columns here. Okay, so we have these columns that allow you to trade around the AI. So not only is the AI a feed, but it's a feed of information. I consider that, for example, here's one where it thought to short, but it went against you. So it's not perfect. Okay, so sometimes you also make mistakes, but what it does is it tells you when to exit, tells you when to enter, and it has the full schematic and game plan. And for anybody who has any kind of experience in the market, they understand as soon as they see this, just a few minutes spent, is quickly kind of an understanding that this is a next level kind of analytic system. Because again, it's not indicator based. So let me do this real quick. Scott, why don't I give you an opportunity to tell everybody what we have as an offer for them on the webinar, and then I'll finish up with some questions that somebody didn't get to, and also show a couple of more things of like what the AI has underneath the hood. So,
yeah,
Scott, are you ready?
That sounds great. Something we want to do to offer everyone for attending is give them a chance to sign up for our free trade of the week. And what that does, it gives you a sample of how Trade Ideas technology interacts with the stock market. What the trade of the week is a trade chosen by our AI and curated by one of our educators to use as a indicator sample of a long. So it's not just a day trade, it's not just an intraday trade, and it comes to your inbox every Monday before market. And the email will include how we identified the trade of the week, why we picked it, where we think it's going, and along with signing up to receive the Trade of the Week, you will also get an invitation to our exclusive weekly Trade of the Week webinars, where we not only delve into how the Trade of the Week was chosen and why we sent that out as the Trade of the Week, but we also answer a lot of questions from the audience and go over quite a few alternatives to Trade of the Week, because the one we send out on Monday wasn't the only strong choice. There's generally 5 or 6 strong choices that we choose between to send out, and it's really a great opportunity for everyone to learn more about trade ideas and how to use AI to navigate the market. So just go to trade-ideas.com/free, and it's super easy. We just need your email address. Dan?
Scott, thank you very much. Everyone, let me just quickly go back to what we were doing. So we're at this point where, you've seen kind of like, the gateway to the market, what it's doing, but I haven't even, because again, you guys are being introduced to this technology for the first time, and I don't want to overwhelm you with kind of like the jet fighter weaponry, so to speak. I kind of stayed away from all that, but the thing is that our technology is extremely configurable. Okay, so you can kind of create your own feeds of something that you might want to see depending on your interests. So you don't have to, but you have that ability. So for example, here's one that I have called Breaking Out on Volume. And this is just something that looks for these kinds of moves. So the ultimate question that I have is, well, AVXS, this looks great, but I'm sure there were other things today. What about AFCL, or QLTI, or this one, CRPB? Okay, over time, is this the kind of thing that I should be buying? Does this make sense? How can I know? Okay, so we asked that question many years ago, and in 2006 we created the technology called the odds maker that gave us the ability to answer these questions, and this odds maker technology became the backbone of what is our artificial intelligence. So what we can do is we can hypothesize a question, and we can say, okay, for this window that I have called Breaking Out on Volume, let's say I woke up and got myself a coffee and kind of just waited the first 15 minutes, let the market settle itself, and then of course I have work, so I don't take any more new positions after 11 a.m. because I'm a surgeon and I'm in surgery. So I want to see between these times I'm going to trade, and I'm going to buy this Breaking Out on Volume. I'm going to get out, hopefully, I'm just going to take a hypothetical. You have to have some kind of notion. So for you to do any testing, you have to have some notion. And we decided that time was actually a pretty good notion. So you can test a lot of things, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So how about we'll say 45 minutes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate a buy. So watch what happens. So the software is going back to our server room and is going through all of these trades. And you'll see what it's doing. So really quickly, over the course of the last, well, it's got 96.3%. Let me do a quick start over on that one. 1 second. 96.3 is its favorite one. Okay. So we take every single trade. There's 1493. 45.9% of them were only winners. Average winner 27 cents. Average loser 23 cents. Here's kind of like a calendar heat map of what the equity curve looked like. And what you're allowed to do is you're allowed to then kind of ask yourself, well, how do I trade? Do I trade share size average? Do I do dollar size average? Like maybe I do 5,000. And my commissions are like standard brokerage Scottrade commissions, and I'm going to lose 4 cents each way. Okay, and so you realize, wow, then that really starts to eat into it. So this is the data, And you can look, you can break it down. You can look at all the drawdowns, the buying powers. Every single day, you can kind of go back and look at exactly which trade it was, what time, et cetera, et cetera. You can export this to Excel. You can do whatever you want. But we also give you an ability to do some optimization. Okay, right there on the spot without writing code, you can say, okay, well, for example, is there any advantage to trading a certain price level or maybe a certain time of day? Like, looks like if I just stuck to 7:30 and maybe 9, my profit factor would have been a little bit better. But again, this is just hypotheticals of like where you can look. What happened is that we then designed the AI to look into this data, okay, that I have right here, and come up with what are the right strategies and the right statistics and the right things that you should see. So breaking out on volume is kind of like first to the party or something else that we would have. It's a name of an event that you see in real time, and that event has been tested by this strategy testing technology. Okay, and of course you can simulate going the other way, all sorts of things. And the real advantage here is there's just quite a bit of speed to what you can do. You can run it again, you can change assumptions very quickly. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to hold it to the close. Does that help? So you can kind of see, where is your best time value of money? Is it on the 15-minute time frame? Is it the whole day? So these are the kind of questions that our software is able to answer for the end user, and they've been doing this for years. But since 2016, when we launched the artificial intelligence, the end results have really been quite spectacular. Because look this is what the software now is doing by itself. I mean, these trades are all being given to you as they happen. And for anybody who's trying to become better, how can you not benefit from something that's driven by statistics and has expert rules already built in? Where, if a trade starts going against you, it will always exit it at the appropriate time. There's never like, oh, you know what, I'm going to hold on. It just doesn't work that way. And people watch it, and one of the ways that people learn, at least the right ways, is not through doodling on charts, but through actually watching successful strategy in action. This is why people pay thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for mentors. Mentors are basically there just like the mama chimp is to the baby chimp. You mimic, you follow, and you learn. Mimic, follow, and learn. That's what you do with the AI. You mimic, you follow, and you learn. And our community is the complete loop to that cycle. Everything that you need to know to on-ramp with the technology is first available for free. As Scott said, there's the trade of the week. And of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Trade Ideas homepage just so you can see that if you go to it, the live trading room is right at the very, very top. It's such an easy way to get started with what we're doing. And and we always say first, if you don't believe in it in real time, then it really won't make any sense in these kinds of demos. Hopefully you're here because this is interesting to you and you want to see if there is a next level. I guarantee you that there's nothing more next level than witnessing trade ideas working for you in real time and watching the artificial intelligence capture alpha in the market. Scott, let's wrap it up with the rest of the presentation. I think we're pretty good, unless there's more questions.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask them in the questions panel, and Dan or Steve or Andy could get to them in the questions panel, or if it's important enough, Dan can always hop back on and uh, and talk to you directly about it. But yeah, Trade Ideas is outstanding value when you look at it. Even the premium version, which includes access to the AI annually, is $18.88. Includes a free um, hour of one-on-one training, and we also offer one-on-one training at $99 an hour rate. In addition to that, we have that vibrant community that most places charge $100 a month for, in our community room, in the traders room, and we have the best support in the industry. So you get more than $3,500 worth of annual platform access for just $18.88, or you can even just start at at $99 a month, or $888 a year for the standard version of Trade Ideas, which has all the market scanning technology, the charting, real-time access. It just lacks the AI. For the AI, you got to get into the premium version, which starts at $188 per month. And if you sign up for that Trade of the Week, go to trade-ideas.com/free to get the free Trade of the Week in your inbox every Monday. You will get invited to the Trade of the Week webinars, and we often give away promotional codes that discount up to 20% off your first week or year. So we look forward to seeing you all in the Trade of the Week webinar. Please don't miss the opportunity to sign up for that, and we've made it super easy for you to ask us questions as well. Just email us at info@trade-ideas.com, and you can download a PDF. If you go to your handouts panel on your GoToWebinar interface, I'm going to go ahead and enter a download in there for you right now, and you're going to see it pop in there. So as soon as you see that PDF load and you're able to download it about now, you can have a link to the sign up for Trade of the Week and all of our contact information. You should follow Dan on Twitter at TradeIdeas1. He's very interactive. You can go ahead and ask him questions about stock, or go ahead and follow at Trade Ideas for our corporate account that gives you a lot of trading ideas every day off of strategies that are pre-configured. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro. We post some original content there. It's a good way to stay in touch with us. Thanks everyone for attending. Everyone that registered is going to go ahead and get an email from us later tonight or tomorrow morning with a link to the replay of this webinar, as well as a reminder to sign up for that Trade of the Week. It's something that a lot of our customers have been very happy with. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Andy and Steve, for joining us tonight. If anyone has any more questions, give you another moment or two. I leave the contact information up so you have a chance to shoot us an email or contact Dan directly if you'd like to. Thank you. All right, Dan. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. The recording will be up in a couple of hours or by tomorrow morning if there's a difficulty. Thanks.